Alright, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and I've been on Twitter today looking at some stuff, and I see a lot of freaking talking about Xbox games going third party with games like Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and some other games. Well, let's look at this and take this into perspective for a minute, because I see a lot of people, some people saying, yeah, I'd be okay with it. I see other people being freaking mad, thinking the Xbox would be basically what betraying them and betraying their confidence in the ecosystem and the platform and stuff. Let's because I don't think okay. All right, guys. As somebody that's been gaming for 38 years, almost for 38 years, it's one of those things where when I was younger, I used to wish that every game would just come to the same consoles. I used to wish that we had one console that could play every game, and that was that's been my stance pretty much from when I started finding like if I like say I had the Nintendo and a game came to the Sega. From that point on, if there was a game on Sega that I wanted to play and I didn't have a Sega and I only had a Nintendo, that's pretty much been like my goal as a gamer since I was since those early days of like Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. That's pretty much been my thought process that whole time. And along the way, along life, along the years of my gaming, there were times where I had like the PS2 and the Xbox and the GameCube all at the same time, and the Dreamcast, and then there were times that I had just a PlayStation 4 or just a PlayStation 3, but then I had the Xbox 360 a little bit in between or something. Like there's always been those times, and every time that I've always been stuck with just one console, I've missed out on a lot of different experiences in gaming that I much rather would have had if I could have just played those games on one console. And so I know for a fact that there are other people out there right now that have had to make a difficult decision to buy just one console. And so in order to be okay with that, they've had to resort to things like hating the other platform or being negative towards games. Because since I've been a YouTuber, I've seen multiple games get absolutely destroyed by my colleagues on YouTube and the biased media out there that cover gaming. And it's ridiculous. I mean, they're trying to do it right now with Suicide Squad. Good luck. The game is awesome, but there's so much negativity and so much division out there right now when it comes to gaming that when I think about Xbox potentially becoming a third party company, the only thing that really scares me about that is PlayStation price gouging because they're the number one platform. They're already doing it, and they have competition from Xbox. And the other thing is Xbox isn't selling enough consoles to justify keeping all of these games on that single platform. Yes, if you could play these games on a PC, but there's millions of gamers out there on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation that these games could 100% find a home. So I don't fully agree that all games from Xbox should go to PlayStation or Nintendo Switch, but any publisher that Xbox has bought, Bethesda and Activision, the publishers. Now, when they buy a publisher, I don't have any problem with every single Activision game going to PS5 or Nintendo Switch 2. I don't have any problem with Bethesda games, even Starfield going to PlayStation. I don't have a problem with that. PlayStation gamers have loved Bethesda since games started coming to PlayStation, as well as Activision. I see no reason for Xbox to rip those games and rip those experiences from an active fan base that loves to play those games, and like sitting here trying to pretend that like that like sitting here trying to pretend like to be upset about that or something, that doesn't make any sense at all. And as a gamer, not as an Xbox fanboy or a PlayStation fanboy or a PC fanboy, as a gamer, I would love for my fellow gamers, it doesn't matter where they're at, to be able to enjoy those games. So if Sea of Thieves goes to PlayStation after it's been on Xbox since 2016, I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. It's a multiplayer game. The more people playing it, the more it gets supported and the more it gets developed for. Hi-Fi Rush, if that goes to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, okay, cool, man. Like, that's awesome. If Starfield goes to PlayStation, okay, cool, man. That's awesome, man. That's more people that are going to be able to join that game and play it and experience that. Yeah, it's really easy to say, just go buy an Xbox, just go buy an Xbox. Because we both know, like we all know, if this was PlayStation that bought Activision or bought Bethesda, we wouldn't be having this conversation, period. Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation. They wouldn't even care. They would just be like, you know what? We're not even going to waste our time developing that game for the Xbox. They would stop development on Xbox for Call of Duty immediately. Immediately. They wouldn't even care. And then it would start coming out on PC a year later, 2 years later. So, yeah, I'm thankful that Xbox bought these companies, because now there is a potential that like they still go to like PlayStation. I really, guys, I really am not against Bethesda or Activision games going to PlayStation still. I don't even care if they launch day and date, but it would be kind of in Microsoft's interest to delay them a year and then put them on PlayStation. I mean, except for like Call of Duty, anything that's like multiplayer driven and stuff like that. Like, I don't think they should do that. That would be the wrong way to look at that. But in terms of these games going to PlayStation or Nintendo Switch, like, I don't care. I mean, every time they boot the game up, it's going to have an Xbox black backsplash on it. So it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. And then people on PlayStation will be like, oh yeah, man, Xbox makes quality games. Like, I don't care. And you shouldn't care either. Like, you really shouldn't care. If I get that exclusives sell consoles, but if you're that worried about it, to where a silly console war is more important than actually playing and buying games and playing games, let's face it, man. If enough Xbox gamers were buying these games, they wouldn't need to. They wouldn't need to make money sending them anywhere else. So it's not Microsoft's fault for needing to continue to make money. It's kind of the customer's fault for not buying these games. If we're not going to buy the games, we can't complain when they try to sell them somewhere else. Period. And the same goes for PlayStation 2. If PlayStation starts putting their games on Xbox or on PC, don't cry about it. If you're not out there actively buying these games at full price when they launch, don't cry about it. Seriously, do not cry about it if you're not going to support every single game that comes to Xbox. We all know that not every single Xbox player bought Sea of Thieves and played it. We know that. So, like, don't be surprised if these companies try to branch out to start making more money. Xbox will do it first because Xbox is a leader and they lead and they do things, and then PlayStation will follow later. So if Xbox starts going third party in their games and still making consoles and all of that stuff, buy an Xbox. If you want to play on an Xbox, play on an Xbox. If you want to play on a PlayStation, play it on a PlayStation. It doesn't really matter where and how we get our games, as long as we get our games and we can play them. That's all that really matters. I mean, and yes, I mean, if it's really that big of a problem, you can buy a PC and solve that problem, because you will never care again, I promise. Like, it will help you not care, because you could play all your Xbox games, you could play all your PlayStation games right on your freaking PC now. And it's cool, and they run better, and they got better visuals and better frame rates and all of that stuff. So I don't know, man. That's my 2 cents on it. I'm not opposed to certain games going to PlayStation. Now, I don't think Halo or Forza or like Gears or any of those other, like, known staples of Xbox should ever go to PlayStation. You do need some exclusives, but at the end of the day, like any of these games that they got from publishers, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And like Sea of Thieves, that one there's an interesting prospect. I'm not gonna lie, but if they think it'll sell good on PlayStation, absolutely, let them do it. So if you like this content, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.